So back to this. I feel like this is nostalgia bait. I feel like this is nostalgia bait. I feel like I want this to win. I feel like pretty much I want this to succeed. I want this to be good. I feel like they're going to fuck it up somehow. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I feel like this is nostalgia bait and they're going to fuck this up. And I don't want it to I don't want it to suck. But it's just like, and then what I know about this is that they're only bringing back 2 of the voice actors, and they're bringing back one of the voice actors from the original. Cause I think they're bringing back one of the voice actors from the original, and only 2 of the people from the original that worked on it, like on the creative team. They're only bringing back 2 of those people, and they're only consulting. So I'm like, they have no say on what goes on. They're consulting. They're consulting them on this series. And I'm sitting here like, I feel like y'all gonna fuck this up somehow. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm waiting to see. The 2023 is when it's gonna come out. Let's hope and pray they don't mess this up. But what I know for sure is they only brought back 1 voice actor so far. They only brought back 2 people from the original team from the 90s. And that's it. And I was like, because there's a guy who a lot of people don't like. This guy named Eric July, who said, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. He's like, yo. And he made great points, but he was just like, yo, I'm not falling for this. Like, they're probably going to mess this up. They're more likely to mess this up than to make this good. But, Disney, but everybody's excited about this. What I want y'all to do is let them know, like, hey, you need to bring back the original team or bring back a lot of people from the original team to make this work. But he said, yo, Disney loves he said, yo, a lot of these companies like force feeding us nostalgia. He was like, don't fall for it. And I was like, oh, shit. So when I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, they're more likely to mess this up. Because sometimes it's hard to capture lightning in a bottle twice. You got to remember, too, I don't know if y'all remember the old they canceled another X-Men series for this series. I don't know if a lot of people remember that. So there was an X-Men series that they based. So no, the popular X-Men arcade game was going to be based on the original X-Men. So the X-Men arcade game was going to be based on a show that they canceled, and then they went 2 years later and made this show. So hold on, I got that for y'all here. So if you remember the old X-Men arcade game from back in the day, right? They based it on this show here. So this is the pilot episode of it.
Don't worry, Kitty. As Colossus,
they canceled it. Some creative differences. They canceled it, so it's only this one episode. But they made a whole game and merchandise and everything off of it. And then they canceled it. 2 years later, they made the X-Men show, the Fox Kids show that we all know and love.
Into powerful bolts of light.
But yeah. So if you've played the X-Men arcade game, you see the artwork and stuff is familiar to you.
Teleportation. That's Wolverine with razor-like adamantium claws. They're tough enough to slice through.
So I don't think that's something that a lot of people knew, that they had canceled a show to make that show. So what I'm saying, the point I'm making is it's going to be hard to capture lightning in a bottle twice with this show, because this show went through a lot. There's a whole backstory about how this show almost got canceled like 1 million times too. And Stan Lee was, and then on top of that, Stan Lee was directly writing for the show. So that's another thing. Because this is around the time when Marvel was, before Marvel, when Marvel was about to go bankrupt and stuff. So Stan Lee was like working on whatever could make money. He was like directly like, okay, I'm working on Spider-Man. I'm working on this, all this stuff. A lot of that 90s stuff, Stan Lee was directly working on because Marvel was trying to generate money. So he was rolled up his sleeves, he was hands on with everything. He directly was writing for the show. Like he didn't like, a lot of times, he was hiring people to do. No, Stan Lee was directly writing for this show. He was directly writing for the Spider-Man Fox Kids show. He was directly writing for the Fantastic Four. He was like writing the episodes himself. Like, I mean, with a team, of course, but he was writing the episodes, especially this show. This show in particular, he was writing directly. So, and of course, God rest his soul, Stan Lee has passed away. So it's going to be hard to see if they're going to be able to recapture all of that. It was so much adversity it was going through at the time. So they were working really hard to make all these shows good.
Awesome. I love that animated show as a kid, so I'm definitely going to be checking out some of these newer episodes with updated
So I'm hoping that I'm wrong.
They confirmed that